7 daily habits causing incontinence and infections after 60. You're probably doing number 2. Did you know that nearly 50% of adults over the age of 65 silently suffer from some form of urinary incontinence or recurring urinary tract infections? That's right. According to the National Association for Continence, over 25 million Americans live with chronic bladder control issues, and shockingly, most of them are seniors. Even more alarming, repeated infections and leaks don't just cause embarrassment. They can lead to long-term kidney damage, painful inflammation, and even life-threatening sepsis in older adults. In fact, UTIs are one of the leading reasons seniors get hospitalized each year. But what if I told you that in most cases, these issues aren't caused by rare diseases or obscure conditions, but they're caused by totally normal daily habits you'd never suspect? That morning cup of coffee, skipping a bathroom break, or even the way you sit. These innocent habits could be destroying your bladder health without you even knowing it. In this video, we will reveal to you 7 daily habits that could be behind many incontinence cases and urinary tract infections in seniors. Make sure you stay with us until the end, because the number 2 habit we'll cover is something nearly every senior does, and it's the most dangerous of them all. Plus, we will reveal to you 5 special foods that can dramatically improve your urinary health in no time. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 7. Sitting too long without moving. At first glance, sitting down seems harmless, but spending long periods in a seated position, especially in recliners or couches, can quietly wreak havoc on your bladder health. As we age, our circulation naturally slows down, and sitting for hours without moving makes it even worse. When blood flow is reduced in the pelvic region, the muscles that support the bladder and urethra can weaken over time. Imagine trying to hold water in a balloon with a soft, sagging rubber band. That's essentially what happens when your pelvic floor weakens. Now, why does this lead to incontinence? Because your bladder relies heavily on those support muscles to contract and hold urine properly. When they weaken from poor circulation and lack of use, urine can start leaking out during normal activities, like coughing, sneezing, or even standing up. This is called stress incontinence, and it's incredibly common in seniors who live a mostly sedentary lifestyle. But that's not all. When you sit too long, especially without peeing for hours, urine stays in your bladder too long, giving bacteria the perfect warm, stagnant environment to multiply. This drastically increases the chances of getting a urinary tract infection, which can quickly spread to the kidneys if left untreated. To fight this, seniors need to get up and move around every 30 to 60 minutes, even if it's just a quick walk around the room. You don't need to run a marathon. Just make sure you're getting blood flowing to your lower body. Regular, light movement strengthens the pelvic floor, improves bladder control, and keeps the urinary system flushed and healthy. Number 6. Not drinking enough water. You might think drinking less water will prevent accidents, but that's actually a huge mistake. Many seniors try to manage their incontinence by cutting back on fluids, but this only makes things worse. When you don't drink enough water, your urine becomes extremely concentrated. That darker, more acidic urine irritates the bladder lining, making it more sensitive and reactive. This leads to sudden urges to urinate, known as urge incontinence, which can be harder to control. On top of that, concentrated urine provides the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. It's like a soup of waste products that clings to your bladder walls and urethra, feeding harmful microbes and dramatically increasing your chances of infection. You might notice a burning feeling when peeing, cloudy or smelly urine, or pelvic pressure, all signs of an infection forming. But here's the tricky part. Some seniors avoid water all day and then drink a large amount at night to catch up. That's also a big mistake. Gulping water all at once floods the kidneys and bladder suddenly, overwhelming the system and often leading to nighttime accidents. Instead, you should be sipping water consistently throughout the day. Aiming for small amounts every hour keeps your urine diluted, helps flush out bacteria, and reduces the risk of irritation. And if you're worried about waking up in the middle of the night, stop drinking liquids about 2 hours before bedtime, but make sure you're hydrated during the day. Number 5. Holding your pee for too long. Let's face it, we've all done it. You're busy, or maybe you're out shopping or watching TV, and you think, I'll go in a bit. But for seniors, especially, ignoring the urge to pee can have serious consequences. The bladder is like a balloon. It stretches as it fills. But if you keep overfilling it, the muscles become weak and overstretched. Over time, the bladder loses its ability to contract properly, leading to chronic retention where urine stays trapped inside, even after you've gone to the bathroom. This leftover urine is a major problem. It becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, leading to frequent and painful urinary tract infections. And because the bladder can't empty fully, you may feel like you constantly need to pee, even right after you've just gone. Worse still, if the bladder gets too full, it can actually start leaking, resulting in overflow incontinence. This means your bladder dribbles out urine uncontrollably, especially at night. What's even more dangerous is that many seniors don't even feel the urge anymore because nerve sensitivity diminishes with age or certain medications. This means the bladder fills without any warning signs, and accidents can happen suddenly and unexpectedly. If you're routinely holding it for long periods, you may be training your body to ignore the bladder's signals. To protect your urinary health, it's essential to go when your body tells you. Even if you don't feel a strong urge, try to urinate every 3 to 4 hours during the day. Think of it as maintenance. Just like brushing your teeth prevents cavities, emptying your bladder regularly prevents infections and incontinence. It's a simple habit that makes a massive difference in long-term bladder function. Number 4. Poor bathroom hygiene, especially after bowel movements. You'd be surprised how many cases of urinary tract infections in seniors come down to one simple, overlooked factor: bad bathroom hygiene. This might feel uncomfortable to talk about, but it's one of the most important things to address, especially for older adults who may struggle with mobility or coordination. After using the bathroom, particularly after a bowel movement, failing to clean properly can introduce bacteria like E. coli into the urinary tract. This is especially a problem for women who have a much shorter urethra than men, meaning bacteria have a much shorter journey to the bladder. But it's not just about wiping, it's about wiping the right way. Wiping from back to front pulls bacteria from the anus toward the urethra, which is a direct route to infection. Even using harsh toilet paper or wiping too aggressively can cause tiny tears in the skin, allowing microbes to sneak in and cause irritation or even a full-blown infection. And for seniors dealing with arthritis, Parkinson's, or other mobility issues, reaching back properly might not be easy at all, leading to improper cleaning, even when intentions are good. To make things worse, some seniors rely heavily on adult diapers or incontinence pads, which, if not changed regularly, create warm, moist environments that bacteria absolutely love. Leaving a soiled pad on too long is like inviting an infection in, and since the skin in that area becomes thinner and more fragile with age, infections can spread quickly, leading to rashes, sores, or even more serious complications like cellulitis or urosepsis, which is a severe infection that spreads through the blood. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires diligence. Always wipe from front to back. Consider using fragrance-free moist wipes made for sensitive skin, but never flush them unless they're marked safe for plumbing. For those with limited mobility, Bidets, cleansing bottles, or assistance from a caregiver can help ensure proper hygiene. And never sit in a wet or soiled pad for longer than necessary. Staying clean down there is one of the most powerful ways to avoid recurring infections and keep your bladder and kidneys safe. Number 3. Too much caffeine and artificial sweeteners. That morning cup of coffee might feel like a sacred ritual, but if you're a senior battling bladder issues, it could be one of the worst things you're doing every day. Caffeine is a known bladder irritant. It stimulates the detrusor muscle in the bladder, which is the muscle responsible for contractions. When it's overstimulated, it can cause sudden urges to urinate, even when the bladder isn't full. This is one of the main drivers of urge incontinence, which is when the need to go comes on so suddenly that you can't make it in time. But it doesn't stop at coffee. Tea, soda, energy drinks, and even chocolate contain varying levels of caffeine, and they all contribute to this problem. For those who already have a sensitive bladder or weakened pelvic floor, Just 1 or 2 caffeinated drinks a day can make a big difference in bladder urgency and frequency. And here's the kicker. Many seniors who switch from sugar to diet drinks in an effort to be healthier are trading one problem for another. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin are also major bladder irritants. Studies show they can increase bladder contractions and make the lining more sensitive. So even if you're hydrating with what seems like a harmless 0-calorie soda, you might be aggravating your bladder without realizing it. Over time, chronic irritation from these substances leads to inflammation of the bladder wall, a condition known as interstitial cystitis, which mimics UTI symptoms but doesn't respond to antibiotics. This inflammation not only causes pain and pressure, but also lowers your bladder's holding capacity, meaning you'll have to urinate more often, with more urgency and with less control. So, what is the fix here? Well, gradually reduce your caffeine intake and avoid artificial sweeteners altogether if you're experiencing symptoms. If you need a warm beverage, try switching to caffeine-free herbal teas like chamomile or peppermint. And if you need sweetness, use small amounts of natural sweeteners like stevia or honey, but always monitor how your body reacts. It's all about listening to your bladder and giving it what it actually needs: less irritation and more gentle care. Number 2. Not managing constipation. Most people don't realize just how closely the digestive and urinary systems are linked. But in seniors, chronic constipation is one of the most common hidden causes of both urinary incontinence and infections. Here's how it works. When the bowels are full and backed up, the mass of stool puts pressure directly on the bladder. This pressure reduces the amount of space the bladder has to expand. It's like trying to blow up a balloon inside a crowded drawer. It gets squished and distorted. The result? You feel like you need to pee all the time, even when you don't, because the bladder is being physically compressed. Even worse, this constant pressure weakens the bladder's ability to empty properly. Urine stays behind after every trip to the bathroom, and as we've already covered, leftover urine is a breeding ground for bacteria. Add in the fact that a full bowel can also put pressure on the pelvic nerves that help regulate bladder control, and you've got a recipe for both leakage and infection. Seniors with chronic constipation often don't connect the dots and end up treating just the bladder symptoms, while the real problem is in the gut. And constipation in seniors is extremely common due to factors like reduced physical activity, low fiber intake, side effects from medications, and not drinking enough water. Some seniors go days without a proper bowel movement, not realizing how much it's affecting the rest of their health. What's more, straining during bowel movements can weaken the pelvic floor over time, further reducing bladder control. Solving constipation isn't always easy, but it is manageable. Eating more fiber-rich foods like oats, beans, leafy greens, and fruits helps soften stool and promote regularity. Drinking enough water and getting daily movement, like gentle walks, can stimulate digestion. And for those who need extra help, natural laxatives like prunes or over-the-counter options like magnesium citrate, under doctor's supervision, can get things moving without causing dependency. Managing constipation isn't just about comfort, it's about protecting your bladder and preventing dangerous infections. Number 1. Ignoring pelvic floor health, not doing Kegels or strengthening exercises. This is the big one. The daily habit that causes the most damage, it is rarely talked about, is simply doing nothing to strengthen the pelvic floor. That's right, the most dangerous thing seniors are doing every day is not engaging the muscles that literally hold their bladder, bowel, and internal organs in place. And the longer this neglect goes on, the worse the consequences become. As we age, our muscles naturally lose strength. But unlike arms or legs, the pelvic floor muscles don't get much attention, and you can't see them weaken, which makes it easier to ignore. These are the muscles that form a hammock at the base of your pelvis, supporting your bladder and controlling the release of urine. When they're weak, you're vulnerable to all types of incontinence, stress, urge, overflow, and even total loss of control. Many seniors experience leakage when coughing, sneezing, laughing, or lifting something. That's stress incontinence caused directly by a weak pelvic floor. Others feel like they urgently need to pee out of nowhere and can't make it in time. That's urge incontinence, and again, Pelvic floor muscles are a huge part of the problem. Over time, if nothing is done, these muscles deteriorate to the point where the bladder can't be held up properly and urine leaks become more frequent and less manageable. And it's not just incontinence. Weak pelvic floor muscles make it harder to fully empty the bladder. This leads to urine pooling inside, which we now know is a perfect environment for bacteria to thrive. In fact, in many seniors with chronic UTIs, a weakened pelvic floor is part of the root cause, because the bladder simply isn't able to contract and release effectively. But here's the good news. Pelvic floor muscles can absolutely be strengthened, even later in life. The most effective way is through Kegel exercises. These are simple clench and release exercises that target the muscles you use to stop urinating midstream. Start by gently tightening those muscles for 3 to 5 seconds, then releasing for the same amount of time. Do this 10 times, 3 times a day, and you'll begin to see improvements in control and strength. It might feel awkward at first, but over weeks and months, these tiny efforts pay off in a huge way. For those who struggle to find the right muscles or stick to a routine, there are physical therapists who specialize in pelvic floor therapy for seniors. Tools like biofeedback devices, gentle resistance trainers, or even guided apps can help build a daily habit that transforms your bladder control and drastically lowers infection risk. The key is consistency. Like brushing your teeth, Kegels should be part of your daily life. Ignoring them is like letting your house fall apart one cracked brick at a time. If you're doing nothing to support your pelvic floor right now, that needs to change today. It's never too late to take control of your health from the inside out. Now we've talked about what not to do, but let's finish strong with what you should be doing. These 5 foods aren't just healthy in general. They have specific properties that support urinary tract health, reduce inflammation, and even help prevent incontinence and infections. Number 1. Cranberries. Unsweetened cranberries or cranberry supplements contain a compound called proanthocyanidins, which prevent bacteria, especially E. coli, from sticking to the walls of the bladder. This means even if bacteria do get into the urinary tract, they're much less likely to cause an infection. Just a small handful a day or a high-quality supplement can make a big difference for seniors prone to UTIs. Number 2. Pumpkin seeds. These tiny seeds are loaded with magnesium and zinc, which are 2 minerals essential for muscle function, including the bladder and pelvic floor. Magnesium also helps reduce bladder spasms, while zinc supports tissue repair and immune function. Sprinkle them on oatmeal or salad for a daily boost. Number 3. Watermelon. Watermelon is not just a refreshing summer fruit, it's also a natural diuretic, meaning it helps increase urine flow and flush the kidneys and bladder gently. It's over 90% water, making it perfect for hydration without overloading the system. Plus, it's rich in lycopene, an antioxidant that supports bladder and prostate health. Number 4. Leafy greens. Leafy greens, especially spinach and kale, are high in folate, calcium, and antioxidants, which reduce inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is a major factor in bladder sensitivity and overactive bladder. Greens also support healthy bowel movements, reducing constipation, which is a hidden enemy of urinary health, as we discussed earlier. Number 5. Greek yogurt. This is a probiotic powerhouse. Your gut health and urinary health are deeply connected. When your gut is balanced with good bacteria, your body is better able to fight off harmful bacteria that could otherwise travel to the urinary tract. Greek yogurt helps build a strong microbiome, supports digestion, and boosts your immune defenses from within. Including these foods in your daily routine not only supports urinary health, but also helps your entire system stay balanced, hydrated, and resilient. They're simple, accessible, and incredibly effective when used consistently. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you or someone you know struggled with incontinence or recurring infections? Did any of these habits surprise you? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.